I look awful, but I'm too tired to do anything about it. Hi, I'm going to tell you what recursion is. So, recursion is the process a procedure goes through when one of the steps of the procedure involves invoking the procedure itself. In other words, a recursion occurs when a thing is defined by itself or something by its type. This method is used in mathematics, it's used in computer science, it's used in linguistics, and in art as well. It would be clearer for you what recursion is if I give you an example of recursion in real life. The first example is, we all know them, Matryoshka dolls, the Russian dolls. So you see the big doll, you open it, and it's another doll. It's another of the same doll, but smaller, and then you open it, it's another doll, but smaller, so it's recursion is happening there. Another example in art is when artists draw something, for example, a woman holding cola, and on the cola or the can, there's the same woman holding another can, and in that can there's a picture of the woman holding another can. So it's the same thing inside, like it goes smaller and smaller every time, and recursion happens. More seriously, let's talk about recursion in programming. Recursion in programming is the process when a function calls itself. This allows the function to be repeated several times, since during its execution it calls itself. Recursion is used in programming because it's seen as an efficient method, since it requires the least amount of code to perform the necessary functions. But recursion in programming should also be done carefully, because it sometimes can lead to, not sometimes, it would always lead to endless and infinite loops if you do not put a condition inside of the function. So the way to solve this problem is to put a condition for the function to stop at a certain point. Confusing still, but you will understand more when I give you an example of a recursive function in JavaScript. So, recursion in JavaScript. When you explain recursion in JavaScript, there's a very basic function that everyone uses, which is the factorial function. It's very easy, and it's also a very good example to explain recursion easily. I said the word easy way too many times. First of all, we all know what a factorial is. 5 factorial is 120. I know that by heart because we use that a lot in math class. Anyways, so it's basically, let's say 5 factorial, it's 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. So let's try to do that with recursion in JavaScript. First of all, we want to create a function. Let's call it factorial. I hate it when they do that. And let's say it takes a number, which is n. Okay, so what this function should return, because it takes n, so we know it's, let's say the n is 5, it should return itself, right? N times. Now, I'm not going to do n minus 1 and n minus 1 minus 1 and minus 1 minus 1. No, what we do is we call the function itself again, this time with n minus 1. What this is going to do is it's going to do 5 times again. It's going to see, instead of using 5, it'll do 5 minus 1, which is 4. And then again, it's going to call itself with not 4, because the n was 4, with 4 minus 1, which is 3. So it will do that, but until when? Because it could go to 0, and then go to minus 1, minus 2. Why? We don't need that, okay? So if you recall, I said that in order for it not to be an infinite loop. We need to put a condition. So the way to put the condition is this. So we do if n is equal to 0, right? So when we come back to 0, come down to 0, we want it to return 1. Why? Because 1 does not change anything. We don't want it to return 0, which means just like the answer would be 0, and we'll go to an infinite loop, and we'll crash our whatever we're using. So we just want it to return 1. Let's see, for it to be more clear, say factorial 3, okay? So what this is gonna do is gonna put 3 here. It's gonna come here. Is 3 equal to 0? No. Skip this step then. Come back here. It's gonna return 3 times, again, factorial, this time with 3 minus 1, which is 2. Again, the same thing. Is 2 equal to 0? Nope. Then it's gonna do times 2 times, again, 1 minus 1 is 0, nope, then it's going to be 0, and it's going to return 1, and that's it. No, actually, it should be less than or equal to 0, right? Because it could be equal to 0, then it's going to be equal to minus 1. So we saw it wouldn't work in this way because it's going to be minus 1, and it's going to continue because it's not equal to 0. But we want it to stop when it's 0 and less than 0. Factorial 3, it's 1 times 2 times 3, which has to give us 6. If we go Control-Shift-Index, not index, Control-Shift-Inspect, it's 6. So that's what factorial is.